What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of NCAA Action Football. This one is for Wednesday, November 18. 3 games on the sked for tonight. We got Northern Illinois versus Ball State. The line there is Northern Illinois, Ball State. Ball State minus 14.5, over under 62. We got Toledo minus 7 versus Eastern Michigan. Total 61.5. Western Michigan minus 1.5 versus Central Michigan. 58.5 is the over-under. Before we get started with the picks, the rundown, the lowdown, the showdown, I just want to say if you are new to the channel, please do give a thumbs up, as I am producing this content free of charge each and every day. Never charge for picks. I never will. All I ask in return is for a thumbs up and a subscribe if you can. That would be greatly, greatly appreciated. Another thing is, I want to know what your picks are as well. So what you would need to do is come onto YouTube, onto the channel during these premieres, and we can chat in the chat box in real time. I'd love to hear your thoughts as well. So without further ado, let's get on to the picks. Last night was okay. We went 1-1. Kent State saved our butt, but Buffalo in the fourth quarter kind of laid back, and yeah, they gave up some points there, 14 I think it was in the fourth quarter, which again, the backdoor screw up, the screw job continues. But 1-1's okay. We will take it. Better than 0-2, right? So yeah, hopefully tonight we go at least 2-1. If not 3-0, that'd be sweet. But let's not go 1-2. All right. Let's get on with the picks. Whatever you do decide, tail or fade, good luck either way. We're all here for the same reason, and that's to beat the bookie. Let's go. Action on a Wednesday night. Northern Illinois takes on Ball State on the road. The Huskies are 0-2 and have allowed 89 points in their first 2 games. The Ball State Cardinals are 1-1 after a 38-31 win over Eastern Michigan last week. These teams last faced each other on October 5th of last season, with Ball State winning 27-20 on the road. That broke a 10-game Northern Illinois winning streak. The line has moved slightly toward the hosts in this one, extending their perceived advantage according to the line as the week has gone on. Ball State opened as a 9.5-point favorite when the lines came out, and, as of today, it's now favored at 14.5 points at the majority of sportsbooks. 67% of the bets ATS are backing the Cardinals in this one, despite giving slightly more than 2 touchdowns at home. The total for this contest has dropped a little bit this week. After opening at 63.5 points, the total has fallen to 61.5 or 62 points, depending on your choice of sportsbooks. A narrow majority, 53% of the bets on the total, are expecting this contest to wind up falling under the total. The temperature at kickoff is expected to be in the low 40s for this contest under clear skies. The temperature will actually climb a couple degrees into the mid-40s as the game continues, with the real field temperature remaining in the mid-30s. There is no precipitation in the forecast. It will be a crisp evening in the Hoosier State, but a good night for college football. Winds are projected from the south around 10 miles an hour, with the gusts topping out at around 13 miles per hour. Last season, Northern Illinois allowed 28.2 points per game and ranked 4th overall in the MAC, giving up 386.5 yards per contest. Not bad numbers, and with 6 returning starters, they should have fallen that far. In the first 2 games, they've allowed 395 yards per game and 208 yards rushing. But it goes deeper than their rushing defense. They've also had 4 lost fumbles and 7 overall turnovers in their first 2 games. In a 40-10 loss to Central Michigan last Wednesday, the Huskies were down 24-0 in the first half, as they allowed 2 58-yard touchdown passes and didn't score a touchdown until there were 11 seconds left in the game. Quarterback Ross Bowers completed just 16 of 32 for 139 yards, with no touchdowns. The only touchdown was thrown by senior Andrew Haydett, who has played sparingly in his first 2 games. The Huskies were also held to 74 rushing yards, and that was a question mark coming in. They averaged just 141.1 yards per game on the ground, which is ranked 92nd in 2019, and have averaged just 115 yards in the first 2 games, rank 110th. On a good note, linebacker Kyle Pugh recorded 14 tackles and 1.5 sacks against the Chippewas. Obviously, this falls squarely on my shoulders, said NIU head coach Thomas Hammock after the game. I take full responsibility for the way we played. We have to play better. It's unfortunate. The way our kids have practiced and got themselves prepared, at the moment we are just not reaping the rewards. We have to be better on offense. We have to be able to move the ball. We have to be able to stay on the field on 3rd down. We have to be able to score in the red zone to give our defense a chance. That's a lot of have-tos. Ball State opened their schedule with a 38-31 loss at Miami, Ohio on November 4th. The Redhawks scored the game-winning touchdown with 10 seconds left. The Cardinals lost despite producing 478 yards and 130 rushing yards from Caleb Huntley. The senior, who rushed for 1,275 yards last season, came back with a big game against Eastern Michigan with 204 yards and 3 touchdowns. He helped lead the Cards to a 38-31 win over Eastern Michigan on November 11th and scored the game winner with 6 seconds left when he rushed it in from the 1-yard out. Ball State ran for 304 yards total and passed for 232 in the victory. However, the defense struggled, giving up 250 passing yards and 227 rushing yards to the Eagles. Those are pretty hefty numbers. When the guys came in last Thursday, the focus was great, the energy was great, the attitude was great. I'm really proud to see their hard work pay off, head coach Mike New said after the game to ballstatesports.com. It was a battle. The game ebbs and flows, and the one thing we make crystal clear here is we've got your back. Overall, Huntley has 334 yards in just 2 games, while QB Drew Plitt is completed 56.1 of his passes for 541 yards with 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. The defense is allowing 449.5 yards per game, with 269 passing yards allowed per game, which is ranked 102nd, and 180.5 rushing yards, which is ranked 79th. They are averaging a whopping 507 yards per game, 15th, 270.5 passing yards, which is 32nd, and 236.5 rushing yards, which is 15th. So, who am I going with? Well, let's just say Northern Illinois used to dominate this series, but that was then, and this is now. The Cardinals are the more explosive and dynamic team, and they have one of the best running backs in the MAC in Huntley. Even with their struggles defensively, they are facing a Huskies team that got destroyed at home by a Central Michigan team that is comparable with Ball State. I just don't see the mistake-prone Huskies being able to compete in this one. I'm going to lay the points. Let's go. The Ball State, which is now, it was 14 earlier. I grabbed it at 14.5. Still, Ball State minus 14.5 over Illinois is the play on this one. Good luck to you if you do decide to stick with me on this pick. If not, good luck whichever way you choose. A couple of people asked me, do I ever have like sides or totals? Totals, once in a while. But for these games this week, so far I've liked the sides. So I'm going to stick with the side on this one. Ball State minus 14.5. Just a friendly reminder, please do like the video, click that thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more daily content. Toledo will be looking to bounce back from one of the most heartbreaking losses of the college football week when it travels to Eastern Michigan on Wednesday night. The Rockets gave up 2 touchdowns in the final minute of a 41-38 loss to Western Michigan. Eastern Michigan has lost 2 close games to open the season. There has been very little movement on the line in this contest, and what movement there was has benefited the hosts. Toledo opened as a 7.5-point road favorite when the lines came out, and, as of today, they are now favored by 6.5 or 7 points at the majority of sportsbooks. 62% of the bets ATS are backing the Rockets, giving the points as the visitors in this contest. The total for this contest has bumped up a little bit this week. After opening at 58.5, the total has slipped down to 61.5 or 62 points, depending on the sports book. A hefty 72% of the bets on the total are expecting this contest to wind up over the total. Temperature at kickoff is expected to be in the high 30s for this one, under clear skies. The temperature will remain steady, with the real field temperature in the low 30s as the game continues. There is no precipitation in the forecast. There definitely will be a chill in the air for this one from the Great Lakes state. Winds are projected from the south around 7 miles an hour, with the gusts reaching 9 miles per hour. Toledo is not going to forget its 41-38 loss to Western Michigan anytime soon. The Rockets scored a touchdown with 2:54 left to take a 10-point lead and essentially seal the game, or so they thought. Western Michigan answered with a touchdown, but there was only 45 seconds left, and the Rockets still held a 4-point lead after a missed extra point. The Broncos recovered an onside kick and then scored the game-winning touchdown on a fake spike with 17 seconds remaining. Toledo was coming off a blowout win in its season opener and will need to mentally bounce back before this game kicks off on Wednesday. The Rockets' offense is absolutely rolling through 2 games. They are averaging 512.5 yards per game, which puts their offense at number 11 in the FBS. This matchup sets up quite nicely for them, as Eastern Michigan is one of the worst defensive teams in college football. The Eagles are currently allowing 483.5 yards per game. Quarterback Eli Peters has completed 64.1% of his passes for 553 yards and 5 touchdowns. He has thrown 1 interception and has only been sacked twice. Running backs Brian Kobach, Shaquille Seymour, and Mika Kelly are all over 100 yards rushing. Kobach has also notched a team-high 111 receiving yards on 11 catches. Eastern Michigan might be 0-2 to open the season, but it has been more competitive than odds makers were expecting. The Eagles have covered the spread in both of their losses and have not lost either game by more than a touchdown. They had a tough scheduling spot to open the year, having to play consecutive road games. Their defense has been really bad, and the offense has been slightly below average, notching 389.5 yards per contest. They will be happy to be playing their first home game of the year against a team that narrowly beat them by 3 points last year. Quarterback Preston Hutchinson has been decent thus far, completing 59.4% of his passes for 491 yards. He has thrown 2 interceptions and has been sacked 4 times, so ball security is going to be a key on Wednesday. Hutchinson is also the team's leading rusher right now, carrying the ball 28 times for 88 yards and 4 touchdowns. Running back Darius Boone Jr. has added 9 attempts for 68 yards, while Samson Evans has carried 14 times for 63 yards. Wide receivers Tanner New and Hassan Beydoun have both been reliable targets in the passing game. Tight end Bryson Cannon has 5 receptions for 76 yards. Boone Jr. and Beydoun are both listed as questionable for Wednesday's game due to undisclosed reasons. Time to make the pick. Eastern Michigan is a covering machine that I do not want to get in the way of right now. The Eagles are one of the favorite underdogs to bet on among sharp bettors, and they have covered in 5 of their last 6 games. This is a really nice scheduling spot for them, as they get to return home for the first time and face a team that is coming off a super emotional loss. Toledo has only covered once in its last 6 games, and is 0-7 ATS in its last 7 road games. Everything is pointing to Eastern Michigan as the correct side here. Therefore, let's go Eastern Michigan plus a touchdown and even 7 over Toledo. Again, the play here, Eastern Michigan plus 7. Once again, if you like this kind of content, please do leave a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. The Central Michigan Chippewas will be going for their 3rd consecutive win when they face the Western Michigan Broncos on Wednesday night. The Broncos are coming off a 41-38 win over Toledo as 1-point favorites. The Chippewas are coming off a 40-10 win over Northern Illinois in a game they were favored to win by 6 points. Western Michigan is 7-3 in its last 10 games against Central Michigan. The movement that we've seen on the line for this contest has been in favor of the visiting team, as the favorite status has shifted. When the lines opened, Central Michigan was a 2.5-point favorite, but as of today, it is Western Michigan that is found as a 1 or 1.5 point favorite, depending on the book. The bets on this game, ATS, are split down the middle at 50-50 as of this afternoon. So there is no consensus on the battle of the Great Lakes state programs. The total for this contest has dropped a little. After opening at 62 points, the total has slipped down to 58 or 58.5 points, depending on your choice of book. A majority, 61% of the bets on the total, are expecting this contest to wind up over the total. Temperature at kickoff is expected to be in the high 30s for this contest under clear skies. The temperature will only shift a degree or two as the game continues, with the real field remaining around 30 degrees. There is no precipitation in the forecast. It's going to be a chilly night in the Midwest for this contest, which is going to be a test for both teams. Winds are projected to come from the south around 10 miles an hour, with the gusts kicking up to 16 miles per hour. The Broncos are off to a good start this season, winning their first 2 games. They are currently tied at the top of the MAC West standings with the Chippewas and will try to take sole possession of the division lead with a win over their rivals on Wednesday. Western Michigan has done well offensively through their first 2 games, with the team averaging 49.5 points per game. They have done so with a balanced attack that has kept opposing defenses on their toes. Through 2 games, Caleb Ellaby has completed 71.1% of his passes for 546 yards and 6 touchdowns. Sean Tyler leads the team with 168 rushing yards and 1 touchdown, while Dwayne Eskridge leads the team with 245 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns. The Broncos haven't played as well defensively, giving up 25.5 points per game. They gave up 38 points in their last game and will lose this game if they do not do a better job defensively. The Chippewas are also off to a good start this season, but they haven't had a lot of success against the Broncos, losing 5 of the last 6 contests between the 2 teams. They will be trying to put an end to their slump and pick up their first win in the last 3 meetings against the Broncos when they play on Wednesday. Central Michigan is a good offensive team, averaging 35 points per game. They have one of the best ground attacks in the country, averaging 210.5 rushing yards through their first 2 games, and will try to keep it going in this game. Daniel Richardson has completed 60% of his passes for 439 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Kobe Lewis leads the team with 171 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns, while Dallas Dixon leads the team with 113 receiving yards and 1 touchdown. Defensively, the Chippewas are giving up 18.5 points per game. They gave up 10 points in their last game and will need a similar effort if they want to pick up the win. We're going to go with a full game pick again for a side. Central Michigan will win this game comfortably. The Broncos have done well offensively through their first 2 games, averaging 49.5 points per game. However, their offense won't be as effective in this game because they are on the road and are facing the best defense they have played so far. With the Chippewas holding opponents to 18.5 points per game, the Broncos have run the ball well behind Tyler, with the team averaging 185.5 rushing yards per game. But he won't be as effective in this game, with the Chippewas giving up 92 rushing yards per game. Ellaby has been flawless for the Broncos so far, and will be difficult to contain, throwing 6 touchdowns through the first 2 games. Expect the Chippewas to focus on stopping the Broncos from running the ball, so they will be able to focus on him and force him to turn the ball over. The Chippewas have also played well offensively, averaging 35 points per game. Even though they have a balanced attack, their ground game is one of the best in the country, with the team averaging 210.5 yards per game. Even though the Broncos are holding opponents to 25.5 points per game, they will be tested by the Chippewas because they haven't played well against the run this season, giving up 146 rushing yards per game and 4 touchdowns in 2 games. If the Broncos are unable to slow down Central Michigan's ground game, the Chippewas will pick up an easy win on Wednesday night. Let's go. Central Michigan currently at plus 1.5 to win this game, or at least to cover. That's all we need, right? Again, thumbs up appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe. All right, guys, there you have it. 3 picks for tonight. Hopefully we hit on at least 2 of them. Let me know again in the comment section below if you do like these picks. if you are on the same side that I'm picking, or you're going to go against me in one way or another. Either it's all good. Just let me know in the comment section below. I want to know what you guys are playing, and if possible, just state the reason why you're picking the pick that you're picking. All right. Again, I appreciate each and every one of you. Stay strong, stay safe, stay healthy. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Love comes first. Peace and love all the time. I appreciate each and every one of you. As always, I will catch you on the next video. For now, Mavakaga. Out.